Since 1995, I have been facilitating a managing partners roundtable. Our roundtable is made up of the managing partners of major law firms that are the largest in the country and part of AmLaw 100, among others. In 2001, after our 9/11 disaster, our first meeting was in October, and I had the temerity, I suppose, to ask a simple question. How did your law firms do? How did they fare in your DC offices, in your New York offices as a consequence of the disaster? How did your firm in general fare? What were the consequences that you suffered as a result of the dislocation of your New York and DC offices? The discussion led to a suggestion, which was create an executive directors roundtable. Our executive directors roundtable prepared a document which is now being used by a number of law firms across the country. What we found is we're not talking just about disaster recovery. And disaster can be defined as something as horrible as the 9/11 incident. It can be defined as pipes that leak and destroy files in a file room. It can be defined as a significant rainmaker or managing partner suddenly dying unexpectedly. The type of disaster is really not the issue. What is the issue that we found was how can the firm overcome the disaster and continue. So what we're really talking about is business continuity. The consequence of our discussions led to this book, Disaster Preparedness and Recovery Planning for Law Firm. What we're talking about in this book is actually how to create the plan, what the plan looks like, what is the process in developing the plan. We talk about the price to be paid for not having a plan. John Wooden, one of my heroes, coined the sentence, failing to plan is literally planning to fail. And so the larger law firms want to make sure that they don't find themselves in that position. Even sole practitioners should be really concerned about this because the law practice is a significant element in your estate plan. And if you should die suddenly, what's going to happen to the value that's attributable to that law practice? Your heirs deserve better than you just ignoring this principle, this concept altogether. Creating the process of creating the plan is an important element and something that we could all use help on, and that is what is intended in the writing of this book. Let me read to you just a portion of a couple of testimonials, people who have reviewed this book and several who have participated in its molding. Michael Hirsch, who's the former FEMA Deputy General Counsel, said that such planning can be critical to the ability to survive following such events. I highly recommend it, meaning the book, for attorneys and law firms as a basic document on how to be prepared to respond and recover from disasters. Tom Edwards, the executive director of a major law firm, said, "Although my firm is identified in these pages as a real-world example of a law firm with an effective recovery plan, Ed deserves much of the credit for the plan you'll read about. In my view, Ed is the primary architect for my colleagues and my firm's disaster recovery plans, and he was, is, and remains a driving force behind our plans. For that, we are deeply indebted." Take a look at the book, part of our special report series. I think it will help you develop a plan that will enable you to provide for business continuity no matter what disaster befalls your particular practice. For more details, go to www.lawbiz.com and take a look at our series. Thanks for joining us.